Howdy YouTube and welcome to this episode of the Gunman. So today we're doing an unboxing and a good look at the Anest Iwata Lotus Supernova limited edition. This thing's an absolutely amazing looking gun and that is exactly the reason I bought it. I just couldn't help myself. It's something really special. It's probably my most special edition I've ever had, and have a look at that case. It's just beautiful and it just feels like it's made really good quality. Even down to everything, just like the case itself. So let's have a look at it. It's actually got some kind of a vacuum seal on that thing you can see me playing around with, and it comes with a gauge, it comes with a PPS adapter, a few brushes, a couple of spanners as well, your pot, and your regulator / cheater valve. And just have a look at that thing. Isn't it beautiful? The Formula 1 car down the side, and it's a really nice shade of green. It's actually got some gold highlights around the knobs as well that you'll see once I start opening those knobs up. This is probably the most special unboxing I've ever done, and you really do feel treated to unbox one of these things. It just, like, I even said to my painter colleague at work, I said, man, I don't want to use it. Like, this thing is way too beautiful to use, you know, like, I just wanted to keep it as, like, brand new. But obviously we will be spraying with it and we'll be doing a bit of a review on how it sprays later on. Even little things like this piece of paper here, you've actually got your own card that tells you the build number out of 3000. So as you can see there, I've got number 884 of 3000. So they are literally a limited edition. Like, they won't be just bringing more out like some companies do. They realize that their special editions are selling like hotcakes, so they pump a few more out. But yeah, you've got yourself an actual quite rare gun, I'd say. So I opted for the WS400 1.3 HD. I was told by Chris at Spray Guns Direct, where I did get this gun, that that's probably the one that I would prefer, and it's more suited for solvent sprayers. So I do spray solvent. I've only sprayed clear coat through this thing so far, and I honestly don't plan on spraying base coat through it. Just be careful with your cheater valves that you see me fitting onto the gun now. Always do your best to keep them away from thinners. They are solvent resistant, but they're not always solvent proof. Now, you guys may remember from my air regulator review that the Iwata one I had, I lent to a friend. I lent the gun to a friend, and he obviously went and got a little bit too much solvent or gun wash thinners onto it, and it just totally melted the pin that shows you how much air pressure you've got. He's got a SATA Jet one, and he's had it for like 15 years, and he said, man, I can just dunk that thing in thinners and it doesn't damage it at all. So yeah, just with these Iwata ones, they should last for a while as long as you're just careful with them. Anyway, without further ado, let's paint some shit. So this was the third job I sprayed with this gun. It did take me a little bit to jive with it fully. Like, straight up I could get some nice results, but it was just, it took a little bit of getting used to, I guess, going from my Pro Light, which I use every day. And I still do use it every day, even though I have this gun. I'm really enjoying spraying with this gun. But yeah, it's just little things like the fan being way oversized. So if you actually spray this thing at full fan, it's not going to spray properly. So you need to wind it in. Now, my current settings are to wind the fan right in, so it's like on pencil spray, and then come out 3 full turns. And similar thing with the fluid, I've wound that out to 3.5 turns out. So wind it right in and then come out 3.5 turns. And you can see there the gold highlights that I was telling you about. Absolutely beautiful gun. Now, as far as using this gun goes, it really reminds me of spraying with the DeVilbiss T110 air cap. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the T110 air cap from DeVilbiss, that is my go-to for dead flat clear. So like minimal orange peel and the flattest kind of paint that you can get. And that's what this one, out of the box, it just wants to spray like that. it takes a little bit more working to get that European orange peel. So you can see here I've got to actually slow right down. So it's putting on minimal material because of the size of the holes on the air cap. So if you go for the WS, which is the HVLP option, you'll probably find the gun speeds up quite a lot, and you'll be able to replicate those European finishes straight out of the box a little bit easier without having to work it so hard. So the gun does seem to spray a little bit slower than my Pro Light, and if you hang around for another minute or two, I've actually done a side-by-side of it versus the Pro Light with the TE20 air cap. But I reckon if I was to switch over to my T110, would have a very similar speed, and again that's due to the size of the holes on the air cap. So we've got minimal air coming out of that air cap, and it's going to make that paint atomize really finely. So it's a total killer, like totally killer gun for absolutely dead flat finishes. So you could possibly even speed it up just by putting a 1.4. I think they even go right up to 1.5. However, I don't know if they come in 1.5 for this limited edition that they've got, but I do know that your Supernovas do go up to 1.5. So if there's anyone out there who is a Iwata sprayer, who's a professional and uses these guns all the time and has all the different setups, I'm more than happy to hear any feedback. Like if you think I should change my distances, my speed, my settings, if you've got any feedback you can give, and even just share the way you spray in the comment section, I'd definitely be interested to hear that. I'm also happy to be able to say that this gun here is exactly the same price as a standard Supernova. So just a standard chrome finish Supernova will set you back exactly the same price as this. So current conversion rates, it's around 900 Australian dollars. So if you're an American, just off the top of my head, it'll probably be around $600 to $700 mark. So yes, it's an expensive gun. No, it's not going to be for everybody. I fully understand that. I get some people saying, oh, you know, I'm not spending more than $150 on a spray gun, and I can totally understand that if you're just doing home jobs. But a good analogy for that is, like, I like to watch my footy, and you don't see footy players running around in $15 Kmart boots, do ya? They use the good Nike and Adidas football boots. It's just like me. I'm a professional sprayer. I'm going to use professional quality tools, you know, so I totally understand why you wouldn't want to if you don't spray every day, but I want the best of the best when I'm spraying cars that are worth in excess of $100,000 sometimes. So here's that side-by-side action. It does seem that the Pro Light is going quite a bit faster. Do take into account that it is a slightly smaller door, and yeah, it's TE20 air cap, and as I say, I reckon if I was to put the T110 air cap on it, we would be around a similar speed as the Supernova. You might even be able to speed that gun up by winding the fan even in a little bit more. Even with that fan wound in how much it already is wound in, it still is quite a big thumping fan, but it's giving me an even spray fan on it. If you spray these Supernovas at full fan, you will find you'll get a top and bottom heavy result, and then there'll be nothing in the center. That's the first thing I found, like coming from DeVilbiss years ago when I first used one of these. I'm like, what's going on with this thing? It's really slow. And that's why I was spraying it on full fan, because most of the guns I've ever used, I'm just straight up full fan and start spraying. Even with the starter jets and the like, even on full fan, they still pump out the fluid really quickly. As far as paint usage goes, at the start, I painted like some bumper bars and some trims and some smaller parts, and I felt like I was going through more paint than my Pro Light. And that bonnet, that black bonnet that you saw me painting off that Mercedes-Benz at the very start, I used like 350 mils just on the second coat of that thing. Now, it is a massive bonnet, so it's not really that surprising, and I did smash it on. Well, you need to on Mercedes. Like, they've got quite a thick orange peel on them, so they do need quite a bit of material. So those first few jobs weren't really accurate ways to gauge how much paint I'm using. So once I actually got to paint things like those Jaguar doors that you saw me painting in the side-by-side action, and then I did like the side on a BMW, that's when I started to realize, you know what, it's very minimal paint that it uses more than the Pro Lite. So you might be talking 5 or less than 5 mils per panel. So they're pretty efficient gun, you know. Yeah, gets a big thumbs up from me. I'm really enjoying using this thing, and it's an absolute beauty. Just have a look at that thing. It's just been an absolute pleasure making this video. I've been looking forward to making this video all week. These days after work, I'm just absolutely run off my feet, and I need to sit down and just watch some YouTube myself or Netflix or something like that. So hope you guys do appreciate these videos. I do dedicate most of the day on Saturday and Sunday to editing videos. So I decided actually not to put my head in this video because I didn't want to take away from the beauty of this absolute beauty of a gun. Anyway, gunners, hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Now you've seen this video, get out there and paint some shit. Coming out.